could share why it is that you're here and a little bit more about your story, because it's particularly salient to what's happening today.
For sure. So I'm here because I consider myself recovered from an eating disorder, and I am also in school for my Master's of Social Work, and I hope to pursue law so that I can, make a bigger impact in the future. I was born and raised in Wilmington. I attended St. Elizabeth's School. I went to AI, and I'm a graduate of Goldie Beacom College, so I stayed locally for the bulk of my education. When people ask me about where I grew up, I laugh and say Delaware. Normally they proceed to say a snarky remark such as how boring or there's nothing to do. Little do they know there are tons to do in the little state of Delaware. Prior to my eating disorder diagnosis, I could often be found in Rehoboth Beach sitting on the coveted white benches that line our mile-long boardwalk. I profoundly remember always grabbing Thrasher's fries and a slice of Grotto pizza and sitting on that bench with my family and friends. That all changed when I developed an eating disorder in 2013. When I think about Delaware, I don't think about Newcastle County. I think about rural Sussex County and the lack of resources that their community has, including resources within the education system. The Improving Mental Health and Wellness in Schools Act would add mental health as a category for inclusion in local school wellness policies and allow registered dietitians and licensed mental health professionals to collaborate on the development of local school wellness policy mental health goals. It would also allow the administrator of the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, also known as SAMHSA, to consult with the Departments of Ag and Education on technical assistance and best practices. When I think about, rural Sussex County, I think about a pretty large percentage of folks with food insecurity. But, being from Wilmington, a bulk of the research that I have done comes right from, our backyard. Unfortunately, or, maybe this won't come as a surprise to you, but zip codes 19805, 19801, and 19804 are the highest percentage of food insecure individuals in the state of Delaware. Approximately 1 out of 8 children in the state of Delaware do not have access to food every single day. They are food insecure. And why do I bring up food insecurity as it pertains to eating disorders? Well, they're kind of brother and sister, and there's not a lot of research that's been done on that. People living with high levels of food insecurity report higher levels of binge eating, a higher likelihood of having any type of eating disorder or dietary restraint. For instance, ARFID, which is avoiding different types of food groups or types of food, weight, self-stigma, and high levels of worry. We do have food pantries in northern Delaware. We have a lot of them, but it's still not impacting specific populations of people. My goal is to have Senator Coons, sponsor the Wellness in Schools Act, so that we can implement, school psychologists and social workers and dietitians within the school system. And I want to preface by saying that we will not need to fund any additional money. The money will be allocated through other resources, through SAMHSA and I think the Department of Ag, but I'm sure Chase can kind of elaborate on that. I really appreciate your time, and I consider myself recovered from my eating disorder, but only because I came from a very privileged family that had excellent insurance, because this could go on for a whole other conversation, but Delaware Medicaid and Medicare participants do not have any sort of treatment options in the state of Delaware. And as of recently, the next best option was in New Jersey, which is an inpatient facility called Princeton, and they are no longer accepting Delaware Medicaid. I'm not sure about Delaware Medicare. So eating disorders are a huge issue in the state of Delaware. And, I'm sure this won't be the last that you hear of me. I have really big goals to try to figure out if we can find funding or sponsors to get us a treatment facility in the state of Delaware, preferably in Kent County. But so thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.